ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, I have introduced Kanbei before. You know what Kanbei does. You know that he gets plus 30% firepower and defense. His units need to be hit from like all angles just to be killed. He's incredibly broken CO. However, today we have a game with this CO right here. I'm sure most of you know who this guy is, but for those of you who do not, let me just give you a little rundown. Hachi. Hachi is one of the most broken COs to ever grace our glorious game of Advance Wars. His units, as you can see here, units cost 10% less to build. He just spits units out like they're nothing. Like just having that minus 10% less unit cost build. This means that he's able to just build like two tanks where you can only build one, and he's always going to overwhelm you in that front. But if that wasn't broken enough, during his normal power, he gets to build units for half the price, 50%. So Neo tanks, which cost 22k, for Hachi will only cost 11k. Yeah, needless to say, this is pretty busted. However, on top of that, his superpower allows him to do that, but build ground units on any city as well. So he can build units on all these. He can build infantry on all of these cities. He can just have so much unit count and just overwhelm you. And actually, I'm not even done, guys. Because this is on my channel, you know what I do on my channel. I play high funds. I cover high funds games. This is Hachi in high funds. So, like, having 20k or whatever you have during standard and taking advantage of that and getting half price off that, yeah, sure, that's great. But here, we're going to be playing with like 50, 60k worth of funds. Like, you can imagine like what Hachi is going to be able to build with this 60k worth of funds. It's just absolutely insane. I wouldn't be casting this game if it wasn't entertaining, guys. So yeah. So as for the players, maybe you've noticed this is X1, aka X123, aka Momo. This guy, if you follow Advance Wars by web content, you'll know who this guy is. He's one of the top players. He's one of the GOATs of the game. In my opinion, one of the greatest high funds players to ever grace the game. The way he plays, he's super aggressive. He likes to just throw units forward. You never see him retreat. It's very rare to see him retreat because he always calculates his attacks and he always goes in and he knows exactly what he's doing. He's just so good at being aggressive. Zhao Tiantong is I think they're like buddies like within the Chinese community. I think Zhao Tiantong is also a very strong player. He's been featured in videos before. He's not quite as strong as X123, but he is really strong. So we're talking like probably 1500 level player here and like 1350 30 player here. So both super strong players. However, X123 is just that one step above Zhao here. So I believe what they were doing with this game is that it was just a little challenge for X123. So X123 wanted to, like, I don't know, have a challenge, test himself, test his skills. So he's got Kanbei here. Kanbei, no CO to sneeze at. Very strong CO. However, he gets a little bit weaker in high funds, and Hachi here gets a lot stronger in high funds. So it's basically a challenge game for X123 to see if he can take down Hachi with Kanbei, which is a significant CO advantage for Hachi. Yeah, without further ado, guys, let's just get into this game because it is quite a long game, and I am losing sunlight. Okay, here we go. This game is actually quite long, so I am gonna go through it a little bit faster than what I usually do. So we're just gonna go over the moves pretty quickly here. He goes for the early transport copter. He wants to because Kanbei here wants to take some of the central cities. I'll just give you a little quick rundown on what's happening here. Kanbei he needs to capture these central cities. He needs to capture these central cities and stand any chance against Hachi. He's gonna have to have more income for sure. So he's building this transport copter here because he wants to go for these central cities. So yeah, to me that's just an obvious move. It's he needs more income. Like if Hachi gets more income, there's just no way he's gonna be able to, like, he's always gonna get out teched basically. So this is basically a certainty. This is something that he needs in order to even have any chance of winning this game. So he needs to go for that transport copter or he needs to go for something that's gonna get him into the center very quickly. Yeah, this transport copter comes up here, picks up the infantry from there. So instead of using this infantry to go here and cap this chain, he's probably going to send it over here and cap this chain over here, which is, yeah, a much better idea. Yeah, Zhao Tiantong goes for the battle copter, just trying to like harass the transport, of course. Kanbei over here comes along. He also goes for a copter of his own because it's kind of forced. It's also really good because he wants to mirror build against Hachi, as that is exactly the name of the game. His copters are better than Hachi's copters. So yeah, mirror builds are always good for Kanbei. Me personally, if I was Hachi here, I really wouldn't be building anything except hard counter builds against Kanbei. I would just be waiting for Kanbei to build something, and then as Hachi, just building a counter unit. So I see a copter, anti-air. I wouldn't like want to get a copter versus copter. I think this scenario is actually pretty good for Kanbei. So, yep, continues cap phase. We've only got copters so far. No excess land units yet. As you can expect, I mean, you do need a lot of infantry. There are quite a lot of properties on this map. They're all really clumped together as well. I don't know if this was intentional to make the challenge harder for X123. But I think this definitely helps Hachi's cause also. Like this is just like a Hachi map. Okay, this copter comes in and wants to harass the infantry, stopping them from capturing, and it does successfully make this infantry go cap over here as opposed to capping here. So there's probably a mini victory. I don't know if he planned on going that way in the original context, but wait a minute. You know, it could have been, now that I think about it, he probably could have just gone for this lab straight away. That would have been pretty funny if he just went for the lab straight away, covered it, caught the lab, and then he only has to get this lab and he wins the game against Hachi. That would have been pretty funny. But anyway, I digress. Maybe they didn't want that. Maybe they wanted to test the abilities of the players. Didn't want no cheesy lab stuff. Okay, he puts his copter right next to that copter. He says, "Come at me, bro. I'm not scared of you." I mean, yeah, it's really hard to be scared of your opponent when your units have 30 firepower and defense. So the copters come out, more units come out. He's got a fighter now, so he's putting this here, blocking this city, and also bringing the fighter to try and bully the copters. And Kanbei's going to struggle to build a fighter of his own, even though he would love one. They're just too expensive. This is just the advantage that Hachi gets. He gets to build units that you can't build in the early game, and just that 10%. That's what it does, man. That's the difference between a fighter and having to build 2 anti-air. So yeah, he indeed builds 2 anti-air because a fighter is just slightly too much money. Copters come in. The copters aren't really doing much. They're a bit passive. However, they are warding off the interrupts. So I guess they're not completely passive. I guess they're not a complete waste of money. I think ultimately this position is good for Kanbei because Hachi's copter hasn't achieved anything, and he's now gotten into a situation where he's now got 1-for-1 units staring at each other. So that's good for Kanbei. Kanbei doesn't want to see hard counter units all over the place, but seeing copters all over the place, not so bad because he's got copters of his own. So now he just retreats. He just wants to like cap his cities. Like Hachi just wants to stay alive here, because in the beginning, this is the part where Kanbei actually has the biggest advantage, because the day-to-day is active all the time. Kanbei is the day-to-day CO, that being his main strength, and Hachi is a superpower CO, being his main strength. Of course, the minus 10% is great, but building everything for 50% less on cities, for that matter, is just mega busted. So that's his biggest strength. Once that comes, Hachi will be able to just snowball his advantage, because as his units get destroyed, he's just gonna build a ton of units. As they get destroyed, that's just gonna give him more power, and then he's just gonna get more units. So they just snowballs forever and ever, and you just never see the last of Hachi's units once the first superpower has come in. So right now, in the beginning of the game, when there's no power and just infantry on the map, this is the biggest part of the time where Kanbei wants to get some sort of advantage. He wants to like use his day-to-day to bully and get central properties, and get something so that he's prepared at the very least for when that inevitable merchant union comes along. Okay, so day 7 comes here. We have. Yeah, we're just moving into the center, interrupting a cap here. This is a very ambitious cap. I don't know what that guy was doing. It's a bit of a Mang's infantry right there. The copter comes over. He's just trying to have a solid position. I think he's gonna go for the central cities now. He'd be really happy if Kanbei can get 1, 2, 3, 4 cities. These are, yeah, if he can get these contested central, these are all contested. If he can get all 4 of these contested cities in the center, I think Kanbei would be very happy. He might have enough of an income deficit in order to justify the minus 10% firepower, but that's it. He's not justifying the massive advantage that comes from using Merchant Union. He's just helping to fight against it a little bit. So copters come in here. Infantry comes in, just moves in, you have proven the position. There's not too much going on just yet. It's still kind of the cap phase. We're just kind of coming out of the cap phase. A little bit of, you can see a little bit of unit combat going on here. Of course, we're going to get the anti-air smash something. Is he going to smash the copter, or is he going to kill this infantry and then hit the fighter? Looking at it really quickly at just a glance, like it looks like he can hit this, hit the fighter, and then trap the copter so the copter can't move anywhere without getting killed by the anti-air on the turn after. Like, I don't know if that tactic is there, but like I just have a feeling that it's there somewhere. You know, like just like some intuition of me looking at it. I feel like there's a tactic like that somewhere. However, I don't see it exactly. It just feels like it should be there somewhere. Okay, so let's see what X123 does. If there is a tactic like that, I'm sure X123 is here. But maybe there probably wasn't, because if there was, X123 would have probably seen it and played it. X123, he knows that he needs to get something right now out of the opening before Merchant Union comes. But Merchant Union's already halfway there. Like it just, like, because of high funds, like Hachi just gets better. His power just comes so much faster and so much harder. So yeah, it's really rough for Kanbei here. Okay, so he comes in, hits the cops, and doesn't even kill it. It survives with 3 HP. Kind of crazy. Okay, kills off that infantry. He interrupts this cap. That Neo tank looking like it's probably gonna get trapped. The infantry come in. More caps done here. There's a lot of caps going on. It's gonna be really hard to interrupt everything. If Hachi can get these central properties, then that's really bad news for Kanbei, because he needs to be the one getting something out of the opening. If Hachi gets stuff out of the opening, that's just a disaster. Cap. Oh, he goes for the lab finally. I mean, honestly, looking at these labs. Oh wait. Is that Neo tank getting trapped? Okay, he interrupts caps here, moves forward here. Yeah, this city belongs to Hachi, so just letting him have it and just holding on to his guff. Yep, the Neo tank does get trapped. Yep, I don't think this is gonna kill this. This and this is not. I don't think it's gonna kill. This is a Kanbei plus 30% defense. So it looks like that Neo tank's getting shelled by the artillery. That's a pretty cute idea there. But honestly, looking at this map, it looks like the only hope for Kanbei to win this is that these labs are kind of exposed. Like, these labs are, like, maybe not so exposed. They're more like, it's very easy to, like, because of this mountain that's right next to here, and there's this area here is kind of a choke point. Like, if you can put, like, one impenetrable unit here, cap this, it's kind of hard for, like, units to come around here and interrupt the cap, which means that this lab is quite juicy for capture. If you can get an infantry just here, like 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 from the base, 2 with the transport copter, 2, 4, 6 drop. It's actually very close to this base, and this choke point here makes it so that you can probably capture it and also block it off. So they're looking pretty susceptible to lab caps here. And I think that's probably the only hope Kanbei has of winning the game. I don't think he's gonna win by trying to kill all of Hachi's units, because as you'll see later, guys, it kind of gets a bit ridiculous with Hachi's units. Okay, so kills it here. I'd say we're out of the opening now. I'd say with this, like, after all these like uncontested properties have been captured now, I'd say we're moving out of the opening. We're moving into the mid game now. We're going to see some powers coming soon. We're going to see a lot more combat now. So, okay, these infantry are coming back. They want to defend the lab. This lab is looking kind of defended now. So, Like, I'm not so scared for the lab anymore. I think it's getting like past the point now where he can just grab an early lab. So I think if he wants a lab in the late game now, he's gonna have to like, you know, build up an army and like block stuff and kill stuff and really fight for it. I think early cheese is kind of gone now. Okay, yeah, so he hits the Neo tank. Doesn't actually do as much damage as I thought it would do, to be honest. I mean, like, I thought like a Kanbei would have hit this harder. I don't know. Kanbei's main strength is his defense. I mean, like, his firepower, his plus 30% firepower is nice, but like, it doesn't really like completely overthrow his opponents. It just kind of like helps a little bit. It's the defense that makes Kanbei broken. Anyway, yeah. So he's clearing up shop here, and he looks like he's gonna trap that Neo tank as well. So he's trapped 2 Neo tanks now. Yeah, this is just like missed tactics from Cao Tiantong here. I don't think it matters all that much though, because he's Hachi. He's just gonna. But it's a cute little tactic for sure. He brings in this Neo tank, brings that one. I mean, he has to try something like this, right? Okay, that Neo tank is trapped. That Neo tank is trapped. And he goes for the morale boost. I believe the morale boost, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's done it so that this copter doesn't die in one shot. So that, because he might want to, I think he might want to hit this, kill the copter. Like, I don't know if exactly, but like my intuition just tells me that this fighter and this infantry hitting the copter will kill the copter and the Neo tank will go free. So I think he used morale boost and calculated that if he does that, it doesn't work. I think that's why, although I'm not entirely sure. It might be something else. But he definitely needed that plus 10% there, and he found out it was really important. So, okay, here we go, guys. The Merchant Union, the most broken superpower in the game. So, first of all, he does all of his movements. His Neo tank is trapped, so he just hits something with it. He goes in for caps here. He hits that. Yeah, I think it was this. I think without that 10% defense, this would have gone down to 1. This would have hit it, and it would have died, and the Neo tank would have gone free. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. He sends in his copter and gets a hit off. Yeah, you see, it was that. It was that. Without morale boost, this would have died, and the Neo tank would have gotten out. So yeah, he just hits the thing because he has no choice. Okay, so here we go. Are we ready for the guy? So one thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Cao Tiantong didn't build anything on his last turn. He didn't build anything from his bases. He didn't build anything from his airport. He didn't build nothing. Look at his funds. He saved up his funds for this moment. So let's have a look at what he builds. Rocket, bomber, what? Artillery, rocket, recon, infantry, rocket, Neo tank, rocket, tank, artillery, infantry, anti-air, tank, infantry. Brother, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know how many rockets he built. Like 2 bombers, a Neo tank. Brother, like yeah, like X123 trapped this tank here, but then you got all of this that comes up, and now these are all going to snowball. If Kanbei can fight against all these rockets, then this is just going to charge that meter again. He's just going to build more. This is where the fun begins for Cao Tiantong. Anyway, so he finally goes to get his comp tower. He never got it before. That was surprising. I guess that's why that artillery didn't do so much damage, because it was down minus 10% this entire time. It should have been up. But anyway, okay, so he sweeps up that Neo tank that got trapped, kills that guy off. I mean, still, even though he's got a lot of rockets, they're not going to be doing much damage to Kanbei's Neo tank on a forest here. It's probably going to do like 2 damage only. Whereas if it was like any other CO, it would just die in 2 hits. Kanbei's unit's probably going to take like 4 hits from rockets. So yeah, I mean, he's only down like what, 20k of value. So he's not doing too bad. I don't think X123 is doing too bad at all. After a Merchant Union comes, and your opponent just builds like an entire fortress of rockets and bombers and just shit everywhere, and you're only down 20k, I think you're doing pretty well. I mean, I gotta take my hat off to X123 here. Finding those Neo tank traps were pretty clever. Okay, so yeah, the rockets come in. Of course, the Neo tank survives with 4 HP. If this was anyone else, this would have just been dead. Because these rockets, like, in his Hachi, he doesn't have minus 10% firepower like Colin does. His units are just 100%, 100%. In fact, they're 110 because of the comm tower. Yeah, bomber comes in. He just sacks his bomber. He doesn't even care. Like, this is not really a good move, I don't think, because his bomber is just, he's losing value here. But it doesn't really matter if he's Hachi. He's just justifying it by being Hachi. Comes in here, and then now he's got way more units than what X123 does. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that before the game, these guys must have agreed that they would not build mega tanks. They must have agreed that Hachi would not build mega tanks because the main strength of mega tanks is just that their stats are insane. The weakness of them is that they are very expensive and very slow. But Hachi removes both of these weaknesses. First of all, because he just builds them on the front lines. He just build them on the front cities. Mega tank, mega tank, mega tank, mega tank, and their weakness of being slow to get to the front lines is eliminated. Plus, they're at half price, so they only cost 14k. So that weakness is also eliminated. So Hachi mega tanks during his super is just the most busted thing ever. So I think they agreed that he can't build mega tanks because it would be basically impossible to win this game. Okay, so that must have been the case because I don't think we see any mega tanks for this in the whole game, at least from the time I watched it before. So yeah, okay, so that's the end of Zhao's turn. Now we've got Kanbei here. I believe this turn is just a regrouping turn. It's very rare to see X123 retreat, but like he's up against Merchant Union, man. He's up against Merchant Union. I mean, I can't really. He knows that he needs to pull back this turn, save up his forces, and then release the beast on the next turn with the Samurai Spirit. So that's just what he does. He's got quite a nice army forming here. He doesn't really need too much to get these labs as well. He just needs like one strong unit here, kill a few things here, and cap this, and then do the same over here. So if I was Kanbei, I would be focusing on these labs because that's basically your only way you're going to win this. So let's see what Zhao Tiantong does here. Sends his bomber in. Yeah, look at this. Like he's just memeing. Like this is dead. This thing is dead. He's just sacking stuff to get his power again, to snowball his advantage. He doesn't even need to get good engagements. That's just how broken Hachi is. Of course, he is getting quite good engagements, and Zhao Tiantong is he's playing pretty well, despite the fact he's Hachi. He's also playing pretty well against X123 here. As to be expected. I mean, he's no slouch, even though he's like 150 points lower than X123, and you can see the difference in skill and the way they play. You can still see that Zhao is really, really good. So capture. No. He's come down here, and now he just wants to cap these cities here. If he can take these cities from Kanbei and equalize on the funding, because right now Kanbei is up in funding, which is what he needs to be. He needs to be up, or he can just resign. So if he can like take these two cities, just these two, then it's resigned territory, honestly, for Kanbei. Okay, so yeah, he moves his rockets off the cities. So also notice. Didn't build anything. He didn't build nothing. Because he knows that he'd rather buy things for 50% off than buy it at 90% price. He'd rather buy it for 50%. So here comes the Samurai Spirit. He comes in with the medium tank, kills that off. Kills that sacked bomber. Kills that off. Kills this off. He comes through here. He hits this rocket. Okay, he's kind of like clearing out this zone over here. It looks like he's going to go for a HQ cap of some kind soon. His infantry are getting quite close. That infantry is only one move away. Comes up here. He traps that Neo tank. Well, no, he doesn't trap it. It can still run away the other way. But it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard for Hachi to attack into this ball of death, even if he does have Merchant Union. It's not like he can. It's not like he has any extra firepower to just directly start hitting him on this turn. He would probably. I think he's probably going to regroup on this turn. Okay, so here comes the Merchant Union. He's got 87k funds. Let's see what he buys this time. Okay, so first he kills that off. He goes down there to cap that. This is a nice little formation over here, because now this rocket covers this area while he's capping. This is very nice. I like it. He pulls his units back over here. I think this is a little bit too passive, honestly. I don't think you need to run all the way over here. I think that just coming here and hanging out to guard this area so that your units are attacking both fronts. Just get a little bit closer, I think. I don't think you need to pull your tanks all the way over here. But maybe he wanted to get this city. I don't know. Yeah. So he's pulling back here. He just doesn't want to get steamrolled by Kanbei on the next turn. He doesn't want anything to do with that Samurai Spirit. He knows that when Samurai Spirit is active, it's basically like they're basically God mode units. So he doesn't want anything to do with that. And yeah, what have we got? Neo Tank, Infantry, Neo Tank, Copter, Neo Tank, Anti-Air, Infantry, Anti-Air, Medium Tank, Neo Tank, Infantry, Artillery, Anti-Air. Just as soon as you think you've done something, that happens. But honestly, this whole clump of units here is looking very menacing as it's in this area here. I'm thinking right now that X123 could literally just go here, cap this, and then move this guy here. And with that, he would block off the capture, and he wouldn't be able to actually interrupt this cap. He could just put this fighter here. It would get hit, sure, but he wouldn't be able to break through to interrupt this cap. He'd be able to get at least this one lap, and then he could probably throw his units all here at once soon, leaving all of these slow rockets offside, and then maybe get this lab and maybe win the game against Hachi, and that would be bragging rights. That would be huge bragging rights for X123 if he can pull this off. So let's see what he does here. He doesn't do it. He moves his fighter below. He also doesn't go for the lab. He caps the city instead. Okay, he hits, he interrupts the cap with the anti-air from that side. It's also, he's not coming over here and dealing with this rocket. He'd rather just come here, prod this, and interrupt the cap. I can respect it. You need to keep your cities intact. If you really can't afford to lose those. Looks like he's going to be getting this city too, which is a nice one. It looks like the funding is going to be evened up significantly thanks to this. He's holding on, like X123 is holding on in the combat. He's got a bunch of Zhao Tiantong's got a bunch of rockets, but they're quite passive and they're not really doing very much. So it doesn't really matter. What matters is units activity more than what your units, if they exist or not. So if you have a bunch of rockets that aren't doing anything, this is the best way to play around them. So yeah, X123 shows that he knows what he's doing here. Okay, so rocket comes in, Neo Tank comes in. Yeah, it picks off a bunch of free units. He's gonna back it up with rockets. Yeah, he's gonna back it up with the rockets here. So, and they're so nicely positioned behind these mountains. It's hard to get to them, and he doesn't really have that many air units to go across here. So yeah, this is really good from Zhao Tiantong using the terrain as his advantage. Plus, these rockets now cover the lab. So capping the lab now is going to be an even bigger pain in the ass than before. I think X123 should have gone for it last turn. He would have been capping it right now, and it would have been like unstoppable. Okay, infantry come in. Yeah, so both labs are looking pretty defended now. Like this is looking kind of impenetrable now. Like how are you gonna get to this lab now? You've got two rockets covering it, artillery, neo tanks. Got more units here than what you've got pretty much on your entire map. Like. It's almost getting to the point of no return now for X123, where the snowballing is going to get worse and worse now as Hachi just gets more and more units and more value as the game goes on. So yeah, builds a bomber because he sees a bunch of heavy tanks. Understandable. He's only got one anti-air to deal with it over here. Oh wait, that's the wrong way. Yeah, he kills that. He's just taking good little engagements here and there. There's not really any huge clashing going on just yet. Captures there, moves here, just repositioning. Of course, this is not good for Kanbei because every turn that goes by, Zhao Tiantong is buying units 10% cheaper, so his army is building faster. So yeah, Kanbei wants to be as active as possible, although I feel like right now it's a little bit too late. The hopes of capturing the lab are kind of diminishing now. There's just too many units. Okay, here we go. Looks like he's going in here. He's finally deciding to make some combat like happen. So he goes in, gets some engagements here. They don't even have to be great engagements. As long as he gets like decent engagements, I think this is enough for Hachi, honestly. But yeah, like look at this. Those labs are now so well guarded. Look at that army of units just plopped there. Absolute armada of units. Yeah. Yeah. The snowballing. Here it is. Okay, X123's turn. Let's see if he can find some good tactics here. Okay, kills that off. Hits that recon. Interrupts this cap. Hits the Neo tank from the... That did a lot of damage. That was nice. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, look at that. Neo tank, little tank, kills a Neo tank. That's so cool. Only Kanbei can do stuff like that. Yeah, look, he did it again. That's so cool. He doesn't need 2 Neo tanks to kill a Neo tank, just 1 Neo tank and 1 small tank. Like, his small tank did the job of a Neo tank there. Okay, sacks that off. He hits this. I believe he's going to try and get his... Yeah, he wanted to get the Samurai Spirit, so he wanted to do all that damage and not take any damage back. So that was the plan here. He puts the artillery in range of the rocket. Nice. Tanks come in. Infantry comes in. Tank comes in. And, yeah. He's got quite a nice army going on here. But it's Zhao Tiantong's turn now. And, he's got a whole bunch of rockets. He's got 110k in the bank. He's got a merchant union. Let's see what happens. So, he hasn't activated it yet. Okay, here he goes. Merchant Union. Okay, he moves that back. He just moves that there. That was a weird movement. Kills that off. Hits this tank. Kills the tank. Blocks this. Okay, so he's just going for like an impenetrable wall here. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, he killed the anti-air. Oh, that's clever, because now he can't hit this. He hasn't got much to hit all these air units, and it just strengthens the wall. It's very clever. Okay, so he moves that in, moves that in. Didn't put anything on his cities because he has to build from those. So yeah. Okay, here we go. Fighter, fighter, Neo tank, Neo tank, Neo tank, Neo tank, Neo tank, missiles, Neo tank. Our anti-air, anti-air, Neo tank, infantry, infantry. How many Neo? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Neo tanks all bought in one turn. Yeah, just Hachi things, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, here we go. That comes in, kills that off. Okay, yeah, he has to pull back here. It's just such a menacing army. Look at this. It's just such a menacing army. Like Kanbei just kind of is forced to pull back. I mean, I told you guys, it's the point of no return now. Like once Hachi gets this snowball going, there's not really much you can do against it. Kanbei wants to just keep fighting and just keep pushing in, but it's just there's just too many units at this point. It's too late. It's just too late, unfortunately, I think. So yeah, X123 just pulls back here and just takes it easy. Doesn't want to lose his whole army to this absolute fleet here. Yep, anti-air comes in. Hell, even this fighter came and killed a bomber, but like a fighter from Kanbei is worth more than a bomber from Hachi, so it wasn't even in good engagement. That's just how sad this matchup is. So, yep, another fighter comes down. He's just repositioning his army. He's taking back these central cities now. This is not good news. This is basically all Kanbei had going for him, is that he had this funds advantage. But yeah, the one thing he had going for him is kind of lost now. And the amount of units that Hachi has, like even if you attack into them, he's just gonna build more, and they're just not gonna stop coming. Oh, look at that. He didn't even build. He's already starting to save money. But then again, he can't even build because he's got 50 units. At this point, Hachi is just... He's got so much money at this point. He's reached the unit limit. He can just throw shit away. Like, he's just going to throw his units into the grinder. He doesn't even care. Like, he's got so much value generated that he can just throw stuff away and still just be max 50 units till the end of the game. Like, that's what happens when you let Hachi snowball. You have to hit him as hard as you can earlier on. That's your only chance. Even that is really hard, but that's like your only hope. Once it gets to this point, it just goes downhill very, very quickly. We're going to see X123 just like slowly decline here. He kind of huddles up here, puts himself in a position. He's hoping to get some good tactics in on Zhao Tiantong, maybe hoping he overextends. Of course, like X123, he's got a nice army here, but Zhao Tiantong's army is like basically double the size. Oh yeah, okay, so like, Zhao Tiantong is doing exactly what I said. He's just throwing his units in. Doesn't even matter if the engagements are not good. Any engagements are good for him at this point because he's basically got infinite value. Like he's hitting the unit cap. He doesn't really have to worry so much at this point. He's starting to cap all these cities back from red here, from Kanbei, which is this is kind of entering Dunzo down here. Yeah, he just throws all his units forward, doesn't even care. It looks like X123's labs are gonna be coming under threat soon. There's even a missile unit. Because why not? Like, look at this absolute monstrosity. Have you ever seen so many units in one place that wasn't in like a meme game or something? And this is just crazy. I mean, I guess this is a meme game because like Hachi, as soon as Hachi's plays, like it just becomes a meme. So yep, he hits that, kills that off, kills that guy off. Okay, he just picks off all the lonely units in the west there. That's pretty cool. He's going in here. He's got to do something. He's gonna get Samurai Spirit, so he's gonna get like one final good turn, I think. Samurai Spirit comes in here. Okay, let's see how much damage he can do. Hits that, kills that off. Bomber kills that off. Tank kills just a 1 HP infantry. I mean, what else was he gonna hit, to be honest? Bomber kills that. Bomber kills that. Kills that. Kills that. Okay, so you see what he's gone for here. He's going for like hitting and then not getting hit back. So he wants to like create this wall here. Because when it comes to building walls, we all know that the most important part of a wall is the corners. The corners. So here we have a Neo tank on a city which has 90% defense right now. It's going to be really hard to punch through this thing. And this is the corner, and the other corner here is a mountain. So yeah. So it's a pretty good attempt from X123 here. So he still comes in, he's still doing as much damage as he can. He's even got his little tanks engaging Neos. Just Kanbei things right there. And then he pulls in as many units as he can. He might get this lab. He might get this lab, but I don't know about this one. Maybe he realizes now that he has to come over here and go for the lab. Like, if Zhao Tiantong gets complacent, he might miss what X123 is trying to do. X123 might actually get these labs. If he moves all of his units over here and leaves this area unguarded, who knows? Let's see what happens. Okay, Zhao Tiantong's turn. Merchant Union with 122k in the bank. This is probably going to be the worst Merchant Union yet. Okay, so even though Kanbei's got his insane stats, indirect attacks are free damage. So look at that. He had to hit this Neo tank how many times to kill it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 5 times to kill it. But right now he's actually busting through the wall pretty hard. Yeah, fighter comes in. Oof. Oof, yeah, and he's getting a whole bunch of cities back now too. The income is evening out. Kills that off. Yeah, he's doing so much damage with this superpower, it's ridiculous. Yeah, this is, yeah, okay. Okay, never mind. Never mind. He's not getting these laps. Never mind. This is over now. Hell, even that bomber is trapped. Yeah, and of course the Neo tank, Neo tank, Neo tank, Neo tank, rocket, rocket, Neo tank, Neo tank, anti-air, artillery, artillery, infantry, infantry. APC, just because why not? Why not? Like you didn't even need to build all these units, but like, you know, it's because you're Hachi, you can flex your 500k army. Basically almost double what Kanbei's got. Okay, so he kills that off, he hits that one, he kills that. He does a few more engagements here. I'm pretty sure he's gonna resign soon. Hits that off, kills that off, kills another unit. There's just so many targets. Like his bombers and neo tanks are just so busy. There's just so many targets, but you just cannot kill them all. They just keep coming. It's like zombies. It's like Resident Evil. It's like Resident Evil or something. There's just so many guys just coming at you. It's just insanity. You just, when you're playing as Hachi, you just have to do something early, and if you don't, this happens. And yeah, and there's the resign. There's the resign. So this is kind of like what we expected, as Hachi is just so broken. However, X123 did play very well, and he survived for 20 turns, which is like, and everything here is in Hachi's favor. Like this map is I think it's just a Hachi map more than it is a Kanbei map. I mean, like Kanbei does pretty well here too, I think. I think they probably chose this map on the basis that it's like a map that Kanbei and Hachi can be good on. So, yeah, X123 did really well to hold on for this long. I think, however, he made the mistake of not going for these labs. I think he should have gone for these labs, like, way back when. Like, all the way back, like... Oh, oops. Where was it? Day... Let's try... Like, here? I think instead of capping this city, I think he should have gone for this lab. I think that would have been a better move. Cap this lab, and then shift all your units over here, and then try and get this lab. And that would probably be his best bet of winning. If he maybe he could have gotten this lab in the beginning as well. If he had gotten this lab at like Dave over here. Where was it? Where was the time? Yeah, like here. This infantry could have gone here. If this infantry was like, he probably could have found a way to put this in here. Then he could have capped this and then put this copter here and here, and he would have got this lab. And then do the endless assault on this lab later, before the powers come into play. Kanbei would have had probably would have had some chances. Those are probably his only chances to win the game. But X123 just went for the fighting approach, which I don't see it working against Hachi, honestly. Like unless like, nah, Hachi, like you just can't. It's basically infinite units. He has infinite units. It's just mental. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I mean, I'm finally back. I've been gone for 2-3 months, but yes, I'm back. As you can see, if you go on Advanced Wars by Web, you'll see I'm playing games. I'm taking part in the Glenstorm Cup as well. So yeah, that's gonna be fun because it's high funds. It's exactly what I've been waiting for. I saw the A Mariner Cup, which I played in. It was fun, but I wasn't excited for that cup as I was for this one. This is the one I've been waiting for. So this is the one I'm going to concentrate on. I'm not going to play too many games. I'm just going to play a few games, and I'm going to try and get some really good games out of that cup. Even if I don't win the cup, I am going to try and get some good games to commentate on out of that cup, because there are going to be some good games. I'm probably going to be going up against like those insane tournament players like DeadFS or Talos. Those guys, they're like trophy collectors. They play in all the tournaments, and they always are like in the top. They're always contenders to win it. They're basically like those guys who, when you go into their house and they have like a room full of like trophies and stuff, like that's what those guys are. Like those tournament players like DeadFS and Talos. Like if you're playing in a tournament, you're pretty much always gonna have to get past those guys to win the tournament. And I'm pretty sure if I get a game against those guys, it's gonna be a good game. So anyway, yeah, again, thank you for watching. Please comment. I read all the comments. Just comment, say whatever you like. If you like the video, you don't like it, you got criticism, you like the music, you don't like the music, whatever it is, guys. I'm always open for feedback. Thank you very much for watching. Anyway, have a nice day. Goodbye.